And good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. This is such a special night at San Francisco Toastmasters when we have not just one, but two contests going on. I love contests. Contests are great because they really stretch you. Terry and I are huge fans of tennis, and we've been just deluging ourselves with all the tennis matches that are going on. Just another example of competition and putting people stretching themselves, daring themselves to see how far that they can go and seeing what they're capable of. I come from an athletic family, and something that I was taught about competition from a very young age is that you're only ever competing against yourself. And as long as you step up and you test yourself, and as long as you can say, I did my best, you've won. All of that said, it took me 2 years in Toastmasters before I had the gumption to actually compete in a contest. And I want to acknowledge two of our newer members, one, Charlie Hooley, and another, our brand spanking new member, Eddie, doesn't even have the shrink wrap off. And both of them have stepped up and are competing at Table Topics tonight. I think that's absolutely terrific. By the way, when I finally did enter that evaluation contest, I was able to make it through club to area to division, all the way to Greater New York District, which represented 93 clubs and 4,000 members. It was the first time I had ever spoken in front of hundreds of people in a huge hotel ballroom. It's something I will never forget. And guess what? I won. So I found out that there are things that I could do that I never imagined that I could do. I've never forgotten it, but I'll tell you, Dad was right. You're only ever competing against yourself. Now, I'd like to go through the agenda for tonight. I did send it out earlier, but I'd like to just review it for you all. So here we go. For tonight's speech contest, once I'm finished reviewing the agenda, we're going to move right into the humorous speech contest, and Matthew, our chief judge, is going to review the contest rules for us. And again, thank you, Matthew, for serving as chief judge. Then we're going to go through the speaking order selection, and we've got a real special treat for you, courtesy of Diane. So thank you so much, Diane. We have a special selection tool that will be debuting tonight, and the contestants are going to be ordered to be determined: Terry, John, and Derek. Then people will have a chance to fill out the forms that Matthew sent earlier, and whatever, if you use the form, it's requested that you do, but one way or another, we'd like you, once you've had a chance to evaluate each person, then please submit via private chat to Matthew your choices for first, second, and third place. Everybody gets to vote, guests get to vote, everybody gets to vote except for the three contestants. Then we'll take a break after we briefly introduce our guests, and we'll move on to the table topics contest, which is pretty much what the same protocol that we saw for the speech contest. Contest rules, courtesy of Matthew, speaking order selection, and I believe Matthew will be going over something special with what we call breakout rooms for the contestants, but we will talk about that once we hit the table topics contest. And then people will submit their choices for first, second, and third to Matthew. And I will, while Matthew is tabulating those results, I'll be chatting briefly with the contestants. Then he will announce the winners and the placements of both contests. And then we'll wrap up the meeting, and our president, John, will conclude with some club business.